Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again to your favorite YouTube channel. If you are new to the channel, kindly subscribe so that you can motivate me to make me such content. So today I have my very good friend. I'll introduce.
Yes, and my name is Godfrey, Rotich Godfrey. Happy to be here.
Yeah, and today we have a very interesting topic because a few weeks ago I happened to bump on a friend na akanichapia that nowadays the relationships are mambo ya love. It's a very interesting topic to talk about. So akanichapia the reason why she doesn't post her boyfriend ama mpoa wake kwa social media is because every time that she has ever done that, the relationship did not end well. And I kind of ask myself, what did social media contribute to the demise of those relationships? And that is something that I invited my very good friend, Mr. Godfrey, so that we can talk about. So today we are going to talk about the impact of relationships on relationships, be it good or bad. So what do you think,
I don't know. It's a very sensitive topic per se because we're in the modern era. Times are changing. It is foolish for anyone to not be receptive to the changes that are happening. But for sure, there is an impact when it comes to the modern day relationships and social media. Literally, kama kila mtu sahi, even you, the reason why you're watching this video right now is because of technology. You're probably on social media, you're probably bored somewhere, and you happen to bump into this video. So, yeah, so how has that impacted relationships? If you ask me, I'm just saying it has negatively impacted relationships more than it has positively impacted relationships, for lack of a better statement. So, and just to throw a spanner in the works there, I think social media, if you ask me, Champe, creates the allure of options. Ukiwa na issues, angalia, like for example, uende uangalie mademu wenye wako na like a major following on social media. Sometimes hata wapostingi vitu za maana, as in mtu tu ameenda akapost ka selfie fulani hapo hivi, it has gotten 10,000 likes. Kuna jamaa fulani hapo hivi umeenda umecreate content, it's a fitness video umeweka hapo hivi, it took you so many hours to sit down and edit that video. It took a lot of pain, blood, sweat and tears to make the video, alafu unapost tu unapata 100 likes, you know, lakini dem fulani tu alienda. But the point I'm going with this is there is a lot of interaction. Basically, your person is out there and they get to interact with people who basically develop an interest based on venye msee anakaa. Naelewa. So sometimes you might be having issues and you do not want to sit down with your partner na umwambie, and you deal with your issues on a person to person basis. Unaenda huku hivi msee amekukasirikia, unaenda unapata boy fulani hapo hivi selfie yenye ulipost amecomment na mafaya emojis kaa 10 and you enjoy, you are riding on that attention mazee. So I don't know, me I feel like there's that allure of options. So if this is not working for you, you have like a long list of people, potential guys, ideally, who would replace your person. And yeah, it works against relationships that way. Ukiniuliza.
That's actually a very good point because you mentioned something to do with options.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I kind of feel someone actually asked me a question, kitambo kiasi, because everyone calls themselves the prize nowadays. I'm the prize, oh, I'm the prize. But are you really the prize? And then another thing is those options that you keep on telling yourself that you think you have so many options, 100, 200, 10,000, I don't know, so many options. But are they good options?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are they great options? Or they're just options?
Mm.
So it's a very good point that you've raised, something to do with options. For me personally, I kind of feel like there's something about the tongue, people's tongues, and there's a negative attitude of Kenyans nowadays, when they see two people working together, let's say they are dating, they will say that how attached. So and for me personally, because I'm a religious person, kind of feel like there's power in the tongue.
Mm.
That's why watu wanasemanga you have to profess good things in your life so that they will happen. So when people constantly say bad things towards your relationship, chances are something will just happen and you guys will separate. And that is another thing that actually cements my ideology or the philosophy of a private life is a happy life.
Mm.
Yeah. So the things that are so valuable in your life, you have to keep them private, man. As in, you can't be walking with a gold watch with diamond necklace, just or you can just niseme aje, weke iron sheets are gold, just airing it out there because someone will steal it.
Yeah.
And it's valuable to you. So you don't want people to see, you don't want people to steal it. That is the reason why people have safes in their houses, because they store something valuable. They don't want people to see and get access to them. Yeah. So anything, and for me, I feel like relationships are very important. My woman is very important to me. So no one actually will ever know. Utajua siku ya kuvalishana pete, siku ya harusi. Only.
I believe that is important, by the way, when you're saying that the most valuable things in your life should be kept private. One thing I would love to say about that, though, is in as much as you're keeping your relationship private, it is not okay for you to act single on social media. Fine. You do not need to go out there and say, post pictures of your boyfriend or your girlfriend, you guys having a good time. It's not a must. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I noticed that whatever people don't know about you, it's very hard for people to use against you. You understand?
Exactly.
So you not showing people or telling people about your private life kind of gives you the freedom to enjoy it in peace and in quiet. You understand? But what I'm saying with that is it's not okay for you to act single on social media. Yeah, just because you're not posting your partner, just because you're not talking about your relationships, you know, just be respectful in the posts zenye unaweka huko nje. You should make sure that these are posts that are not inviting people to view you through the lenses of a lot of sexualism. Yeah, it's something that doesn't make your partner uncomfortable. And we all know these things. Yeah. So, and it is not about you controlling your partner. If something is sensitive, if there's something about you that you're posting on social media that makes your partner a bit uncomfortable, it is okay for you to sit down and understand. And the relationship, in my opinion, is important. So consider those things even before you post certain things on social media. But yeah, just don't act single on social media, even if you're not posting. It's not okay for someone to give you pressure to posting ati mbona unipost. Nani anajua bibi ya Churchill, by the way?
No one knows.
Nobody knows.
Hata ukiresearch sijui.
Nobody knows. And if you think about it, udem penye anatembeanga, she definitely, because Churchill is married, he has a family, probably has kids, probably people who are very close to him ndio wanajua the details about his family. So when this woman is working doing her shopping, she will live a normal comfortable life. Hakuna mtu mwenye atakuwa akisema yeye ndio ule bibi ya Churchill, you know. You get to enjoy, you can pop in anywhere, and you do not have to go through the shenanigans of people having to take pictures with you, having to point fingers at you as if you are an outcast or something. You definitely get to enjoy that freedom. So in a way, mtu kama huyo, you can be of influence, but by keeping your family and the people that are close to you private, you also protect their well-being. They don't have to suffer ati amechukuliwa picha bibi ya Churchill ndio ule, or that's how I see it. It's important. Yeah, do not introduce certain elements of your life to people if you do not want people to attack them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And sometimes it's none of their business.
It is.
Yeah.
It's definitely none of
Yeah,
it.
because if you post something sign and yanisaidia na nini.
Yeah.
So it's just better to keep those things to yourself.
Mm.
Yeah, also another thing that is very important to mention is about couples who normally solve their issues. Ama whenever they have an issue, you can just tell.
Yeah.
Because status ya WhatsApp, the next thing, oh, I just desire a man who can treat me like a queen. And this person is in a relationship. So like, kwani wako single tayari ama what's up? Yeah, so those kind of things. Sometimes it is airing your dirty linen in public, and it kind of sends a wrong message to the masses sometimes. Because if my woman was doing that, I'd be pissed. I want you, if you have an issue with me, you come to me, talk to me. Whatever issue you have, you address it. You have an issue with me, not them. It's me.
Right.
So come to me. So, but it's very rampant, and sometimes you can't advise people against these things because they can't see. They're gonna negate. Watasema kwa ai, mbona umekaa umezeeka ama form yako ni gani? It's just ni status tu, so tulie. Yeah, but sometimes it says a lot about a person, because wewe kama kila time ukikuwa na issue go to social media, hata mimi I'll start looking at you in another perspective, like you are not mature enough to just solve your issues privately.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I mean, even the best of relationships, man, they have issues, and I think the key is how you solve your issues. Like you said, there's no need of hanging your dirty linen in public. Whenever you have issues, see lazima wase wajue. There are people who love to communicate through hizo statuses. If you really have a bone to pick with someone, sio mwambie tu. Si lazima ati just because there are people who imply or who communicate through statuses, maybe because they are petty, because I believe it's petty. If you cannot walk up to me and raise an argument or something that has bothered you directly with me, I find it very petty. So the most important thing is, if you have an issue, man, just walk up to the person. Hakuna haja ya kuweka status fulani hapo hivi and you're crossing fingers that this person is going to see it and definitely interpret the message that you are trying to portray through that. So ongelesha tu wase. Whenever you have an issue, just make sure that the issue just stays between the two of you. Yeah, people don't need to know. We are already mature right now.
Yeah.
There are people who have families, they fight and they keep their fights from their children. If you ask their children, they will tell you, mom and dad hawajai pigana kabisa. Why? And people fight. By the way, people fight. There are people who have policies wanasemanga mazee, as long as our kids are around, we are not going to be insensitive around each other. We are not going to raise our voices because kids observe. So same thing in your relationships. Yeah, just don't communicate through statuses or stories, man. If you have an issue, just talk to your partner. I believe as long as you have a partner who is willing and able to listen to you, because that's also a very important element. Don't date people who are not understanding.
Also, another thing is it is important to mention that social media, it's not all bad, because for some minutes now we have been talking about the cons of social media on relationships, but I kind of feel like social media pia iko na advantages pia. Lots of advantages to relationships, because first boost communication. So for example, you live in different places, you can do video calls, you can communicate instantly. Nowadays people they can even have intimate moments through videos, I'm not trying to put ideas into your head, but yeah, there are people who do that, by the way. Especially for, let's say, you are a long distance driver, you are taking cargo from port of Mombasa to maybe Kinshasa or Bujumbura or Kigali. Yeah, so sometimes you can communicate to your wife through WhatsApp calls and kama unaona dress spell imekumaliza kidogo, unaweza chukua Kinsasha wanakona Rems kweli. Yeah, unaweza tumia Rems na pia wife yako anaweza tumia, I don't know, mwenye anatumianga. I don't know. In that kind of way, people send nudes. There are people who view nudes as very evil, but I don't know, for some people it's just a way of spicing up your relationship, and everyone has their own thing. I'd say watu wako na fetishes, there are people who role play, so that is an area that you can't really judge because there's no particular manual that people follow in terms of how to love each other. There are people who go clubbing together, there are people who go to church together, and there are people who gift, there are people who acts of service, their love language. So you can't really shame and demonize things to do with nudes. What do you think?
I agree.
Zapata umelalishwa hapo chini naekelewa whips.
It's
actually inaitwa masochism.
Yeah. There are people who get off from very many things that if you look at them from your own perspective, you think they're weird, but it works for them, and that's all that really matters. Yeah. But again, it's all about who are you sending these notes to. If it's your partner, there's absolutely nothing about your partner that you haven't seen, probably haven't experienced. And I guess the most important thing is you protect your partner as well, because there are people who, whenever they have had issues and you have sent nudes, hapo ndio unasikianga nudes za mse fulani zimeanza kutrend. Kwani hizo zilionekananga aje? The people who
hatred.
Yeah, basically they have wako na ile content enya wakitoa huko hivi nje inaweza kuumiza, it will hurt you. So it is important that you treat this as such. It is private to you, for your eyes only. So if you get nudes, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing, by the way. It's a good thing. So send nudes. If you can.
Send nudes. So sisi kama wanaume tumeapprove.
Send nudes. But if you receive nudes, man, it's for you. Hakuna haja kwenda kuonyesha boys fulani, and especially busy. I mean, hebu cheki bana,
cheki uboy vile anakaa.
And if you have issues, there's no need of you leaking the nudes out there. I mean, it's definitely a private issue. Yeah, but nothing wrong with nudes.
Something that I'd like to add to that is there's a quote that Marcus Aurelius said, because I'm a big fan of philosophy. He said that relax, bro. He said that the greatest form of retribution is not to become like your enemy, which basically, in retrospect to what we are talking about, is if someone really, really hurt you, like hurting them back is not going to solve the situation or make yourself feel better. Yeah, that holding that grudge and carrying that, as in, and even if you say you leak those news, it is not going to make you a better version of yourself at the end of it. So some things, they're just pointless to do, like leaking someone's news. Yeah, and this is someone at one point you really cherished and loved.
Right.
So there's no point of hurting them later, even if they hurt you. Yeah. So sometimes it's just to maintain your character and your dignity and be a man of honor or a lady of substance. That whatever happens, I'm going to remain the way I am. A person who is you just hold your flame.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that is very important also. Yeah. And another thing to mention is there's something to do with dopamine, which I've been listening to lots of podcasts, and they mention dopamine, which for you guys, if you don't know what dopamine is, it's a chemical that is released by the brain to induce excitement. So basically, if you see something nice and you're really happy, that is dopamine that is being released in the brain. So you feel that feel good vibe, that feel good energy. So that is dopamine. It's a chemical, and there are lots of means to artificially make your brain produce the chemical. One of them is video games. That's why unaweza pata mtu anacheza video games from morning to evening. Your excitement does not die down. But those people who experience very high highs, sometimes they experience very low lows. That's why unaweza pata akikuja kwa depression ama ikimhit the following day, they are extremely down, sad completely. So sometimes it's just good to maintain the healthy dopamine level, which basically means that do not overstimulate your brain. Things like porn, it's very destructive to the brain because you can watch porn for 3 hours or 4 hours or 10 hours, but during the 10 hours your brain wants more. You want to go to the next clip and you are still aroused the whole time. So it's a feel good feeling that you have. So when it impacts you, it's going to drain you finally. Like the next day you will feel drained, and it's going to actually destroy your brain. So and another thing is that I want to mention in reference to what I'm talking about is in terms of social media and relationships. There are those people who like they're addicted to social media. They're addicted to also other people's comments, likes, and validation. So they depend so much on that hata mimi nikikuja nikwambie, hey, you're beautiful. But pale kwa gram, like 500 people have been telling you you're so beautiful. I love your lashes. I love your lips. Oh, that fire waist. God damn, you're serving them legs for days. Oh my goodness. I wish you were mine. I'll do anything for a lady like you. All those comments. So when you finally meet you can't give them 500 compliments in a second or in a minute or in 10 minutes, surely. You can't give them all. You can't say all of them. Maybe you may notice kitu moja mabibi. Hey, you have a beautiful dress. Hiyo moja. But now you can't compete with another 500 men out there. So I feel like for those people who are addicted to social media, especially ladies, because I don't know, men addicted sana. Maybe they are, but not in easy on the same level na madem. Yeah, so I feel like madem ndio ina affecting sana. And they kind of feel like in terms of options pia. If your guy is not giving you this, another man is going to give you another thing. But something that is very important to mention is kila mtu ako na fault yake, by the way, kwa hii dunia. So it's just a matter of finding someone whom you share the same principles with, and whenever you disagree, you are quick to solve your issues and keep on moving forward. You make your grass green.
Right.
Yeah.
That is absolutely true. The grass is not greener on the other side; it's greener when you water it. Yeah, I believe all those things are really important that you mentioned. And the most important thing is it boils down to self-esteem issues when you really need to draw a lot of validation from people who don't even know you. Those are people who really do not care about you. So yes, you have a lot of following because maybe the things that you're posting are things that people want to see, people want to experience. But at the end of the day, you need to realize that it is important for you to cultivate a relationship with your partner, with your friends, with your family or relatives, people who are closer to you. I mean, living in the world of social media is living in, say, like a fantasy. It's like living in a utopian world. There's absolutely nothing real about it. Maybe that's a bit, I'm stretching that point a lot, but the most important thing is for you to realize that it is important for you to learn to develop the relationships that you can actually experience and say, hey, he's my buddy, he's my friend, I've known him for this number of years, or we do these things together, as opposed to the people who constantly view your stories. We have fans here and there. Nikipost kitu, yeye ndio wa kwanza. And there are a lot of people who get off on that. There are people who, for example, atasema, hey, mazee nilipost hii story, mazee hata kupata zile views zenye imezoea. Najua wewe umezoea ukipost story mazee around 800 views, you get 800 views on your stories, And then when you post a certain, could be a picture, a video, whatever it is you're posting on your stories, it has gotten 500, and you do not exactly feel good about it. I mean, my goodness. The most important thing is for you to learn to not draw validation from these things.
Yeah, so we have talked about the pros and the cons of social media and relationships, but some things, they are inevitable. We live with this tool in the world, and there is no way we can escape from it, even if it is impacting our lives in a very negative way. So it is just the most important thing for you guys out there. It is to note that, you know, it is not the gun that kills, it is the guy behind the trigger.
Right.
So use social media wisely to your advantage. Do not let it control you or impact your life in a negative way. So for you guys out there, if you have anything you want to add to this video, or if you have any personal story that you want to share with us, you have the comment section. So until next time,